Hey guys, this is Martin Perdomo, the Strategist, and today I am sitting here with my friends Mark and Victor, and we're going to be talking about today how is there opportunities in this market for flipping houses. So let's talk about that, gentlemen, okay?
All right.
And of course, you're listening to Latinos in Real Estate Investing podcast, and we got some ideas, we got some thoughts on what we think is going to happen here. So what's your thought, gentlemen? Good day, first of all. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
So what do you guys think? Where do you guys see the opportunities? You guys see opportunities? What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
I see opportunities in flips right now because there's obviously a lot of activity, and I think people that have houses that maybe are, not exactly in the best of shape, they are looking to get rid of their properties. They're thinking they can get a little bit more money, right? And obviously any skilled investor is going to do due diligence and bring the money and the number back to where it needs to. But for us as well, since the economy is what it is right now and the value of these properties is up, we'll get a larger gain. Also with that, gives a little bit of a better opportunity for something that might not normally flip to flip because of that extra gain. What do you think, Vic?
Yeah, definitely agree with you. For me, it's relative. So we know that the market is hot. Mm-hmm. We know that houses are going overpriced. Mm-hmm. So for me as an investor, I take that into consideration where I may pay a little bit above my price on a purchase if I'm going to buy to flip. So if I do go above what I'm typically going to buy at, for me, it's relative. Where the market is hot, at the end, when I do my property, I can tack on that little bit of money where I feel like I get that back because of the market being so hot. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of scarcity out there right now. So an opportunity for a flip where you're gonna have a lot of eyes on a property that hits the market right away. And potentially for me, it'll go into a bidding war. Because I know the kind of quality I'll be producing and showing at the end of the rehab.
All right.
Okay. And yeah.
So what do you see as some of the? Why is there opportunities, gentlemen, from your perspective? By the way, guys, these guys are the co-hosts of the Real Estate Investors Club here locally, Strasburg Real Estate Investors Club, and so these guys are seasoned investors. These are not just fly-by-night guys off the streets. So, where is the opportunity, guys, within flipping, right? So, I guess my question is this, right? You have people, investors, so-called investors right now, overpaying for properties, right? Overpaying for properties. So, when you get into bidding wars, how can one make money when there's so much competition in this market right now and there's so little inventory? What are your thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Yeah, so now I am having a bit of a challenge there because of what you said. There's so much opportunity, so much people looking to buy these houses, right? So everybody knows the market is hot. Everybody is running to the first deal they see. Okay, I saw it in my neighborhood where a neighbor left the neighborhood, and this house sold for $130,000. And there's no way in any market I'm going to pay $130,000 for this house because I see it, right? This is at best a $60,000-$70,000 home in this market as is, right?
But someone paid $130 for it.
Someone paid $130 for this.
Okay.
Now I don't know what they're going to do with it. My thought is that they're going to flip it. Okay. And good luck with making any money at $130 with a heavy rehab. It's got to be a 3.2 at best. The houses in my neighborhood are usually there with those criteria, but I don't know how he's gonna make money on that property. I'll be following up with that because I'm gonna walk over there and introduce and see what's going on, and learn from that investor. But there's no way I'm overpaying. So if I'm getting into a bidding war, in this market, my offer is my offer. Yeah. I'm not going past
in
that.
any market.
Yeah.
My offer is my offer.
Yeah. It's not about romance of the property. We got to be firm and stern with our numbers. The numbers have to work. And now what would be interesting to find out is if the individual that bought this thing at twice what it's worth, are they an out-of-stater? Because a lot of this, people that are out of state are used to paying a lot more, right? And they're thinking, well, the numbers will come up and so forth. It's not going to. It's not going to sustain itself. We may see a little bit of an increase, I think, when it's all said and done, but the numbers will have to come back down again. And then, to your point, he's going to be stuck. You know, and if he doesn't get in and he doesn't get out in time, he's going to be really underwater.
So gentlemen, what advice would you give to someone listening right now, right, as to how do they create opportunities? Because I believe in creating opportunities, right? How do they create opportunities in this market? Kind of what I'm hearing is clarity, right?
Yeah.
Clarity in your numbers, right?
Yeah.
It's clarity in your numbers. So, what do you guys think? What advice would you give someone out there listening? To how to create opportunities in flipping houses right now. If you were gonna flip right now, what would you tell them?
I would say off market as opposed to, you know, where all the eyeballs are. You know, is going to definitely be a way to go. That way you're not going to have as many people, you know, driving the price up literally with this, you know, highest and best. Now when you sell it, go right ahead and put it on the market because that's when you want to make your money. But when we buy, we want to buy as low as possible. And if we can keep everybody's eyes off of it, if we can get rid of that realtor expense and so forth on the buy, you know, there's some additional advantage there.
For me, one advice and something that I do with my business, how to create opportunities, is have people out in the street send you deals.
Bird doggy.
What we call bird dogs. Mm-hmm. So I've bought properties that way. I've bought a couple properties that way. It's just leverage, right? Mm-hmm. So you have others out there, just, hey, send me a picture of this for sale by owner sign. Or you know, it's your neighbor, somebody you know, send it to me. Mm-hmm. I have a referral fee for you. You know, everybody's different. I pay $500 for that if I do close on that property. And I think that's a huge way of creating opportunity.
So where are you looking? So in case there's a listener out there that would like to partner up with you, and what do you look for? So what do you tell your bird dogs, first of all? So in case there's a listener that is a driver, a UPS driver, maybe they're a mail carrier, maybe they're out there, you know, their regular vocation is out there in the street. Can you tell us what you look for?
So what I look for is right now...
want them to tell you. Yeah. Want them to look for you, sorry, is what I meant to say.
Sure. So the first thing I tell them to look for is that sign. Look for the sign, the for sale by owner sign. I'm interested in old properties, to be honest with you. The ones that I really honing down on are single family homes, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, outside of a community. I have bought in communities. I'm shying away from the communities now, so that's where I'm looking at. Single family homes.
What areas?
East Stroudsburg, Saylorsburg.
Pennsylvania. Remember, this thing is listened to worldwide.
There you go. And if you have any deals in Orlando, by all means, branching out a little bit down to Florida. So, but mainly here in Pennsylvania, East Stroudsburg.
Okay, so now I want to talk about what does an opportunity look like, right? What does an opportunity look like? So Mark is a mail carrier, and Mark is now listening to this podcast, and he mail carrier in that market, whatever, you know, that market you said you're in. The guys, by the way, this applies to anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah.
So you can get a bird dog anywhere in the world.
Universal concept.
Yes, it's a universal concept. So what are the telltale signs that Mark should be looking for to bring you a deal? All right, so one of the things I'll tell my bird dogs is mail is full, overflowing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Grass overgrown. Mm-hmm. Looks like no one's been living in that property for a long time.
It's like an abandoned property.
Looks like almost like an abandoned property. What else would you tell a bird dog to look for?
Yeah, those are great. Again, if a person is smart, they'll put that for sale by owner sign right in the front lawn. But yeah, so it's deferred maintenance is the number one telltale sign. You know, where it looks like the house is kind of run down. As you know, it's we have a word for it. I can't think of it right now. Distressed. It looks like it's a distressed property. Yeah. That's the number one thing. You won't. There's no second guessing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to switch gears now. I want to get a little bit into the government and what the government is or cannot do, and what are your thoughts on what's happening in the government's involvement in creating this bubble? Because we are in a bubble, and I don't care what anyone will tell me. I know what a bubble looks like. Mm-hmm. This is a bubble. This is a real estate bubble. And how has the government contributed to that? And let's just talk about that. What do you guys project or foresee in terms of, when you look at flipping houses, the opportunities? How long do you guys think this bubble is going to continue?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I do think that after the election, we're going to have to see how things respond, how people react to all of that. And, but who can say? And then even after that, we have the other issue with the COVID, and people are saying, well, you've got to get the vaccine out there, and then after that, you're going to have to give it 6 months, and then you're going to start to see confidence in the economy or confidence in the whole market. There's a lot of wild cards right now.
There is a lot of wild cards. Confidence in the economy, confidence in the market. What are your thoughts, Vivek?
So for me, it's a bit of speculation, right? So I've touched on this subject with you off air. My hallucination is that I hallucinate that we're gonna see a correction before winter of next year. And I feel that there's gonna be a lot of people hurting between now and then. We are gearing ourselves up to take advantage of all of this, so we can see how we can help homeowners that are gonna be hurting. But I feel that the government will step in sometime next year.
So I'm gonna play the other side of that, right?
Sure.
Because interest rates are so low right now, by the way, right? So interest rates are 1/10% right now, the federal interest rate. And for those that don't understand, is the Fed set the rate that's the rate that they lend to the banks. And in terms of banks can lend to us, because the Feds can't lend. Just so people understand how that whole thing works. The Feds can't lend directly to the general public. So the Feds, in a way, have indirectly pushed this bubble. Understand, right? So the difference with now in 2007, 8 is that 2007, money was easy. Money is not that easy now, right? Qualifications are tougher. However, the biggest thing is now, though, that the interest rates are low, and that's creating a bubble.
Right.
That's creating a bubble because people think that because money's so cheap, it makes sense, right? Money's so cheap, they can afford more housing. They can afford a bigger house. But bigger is not always necessarily better.
Correct.
Right? So I believe we're going to get to a tipping point when we're talking about flipping, because there's a lot of different aspects that are going on. We got the eviction issue, right? That, by the way, we all know that it ends on 12/31, right? 12/31/2020, the eviction moratorium, done. Government's going to do something else about that. I'm certain some bailout, some stimulus, something's going to happen there, because government does not. By the way, man, I was in Philly, and I'm going to just shoot this real quick. Yesterday, I was in Philly, my sister's wedding, driving back. So we were in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. We were driving through Philly. So have you guys been in Philly? That street, the historical downtown, where they have all the flags, that big street, and they have all the museums.
Yeah.
I forget the name of that street.
Okay.
They have all of the museums, all of the courts, and it's beautiful. That area of Philadelphia is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. There's so much history in Philly. That side of Philly I love. Dude, on the other side of the street, so there's like a park on the other side. It looks just like freaking Skid Row. Wow. And it looks like Skid Row, and it looks like LA. Bunch of tents set up for homeless people.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, no, they've been talking about this.
So I'm looking over there, and I'm like, honey, are those tents? Right? I'm telling my wife, and she's like, yeah, and they even have porta potties for them.
Yeah.
So, listen, man, we have a real issue here. We have a real issue. The government's gonna do something about that. Yeah. I think the government's gonna step in and do something about that, right? I don't know how much they're gonna do, but there is look, before COVID, we had this country was in an affordable housing crisis. We had an affordable housing crisis before COVID. Now we have prices being pushed up.
Yeah.
Right? Because of interest rates.
Correct.
Right.
We have prices being pushed up. We have also rents go up when prices go up. Guys, you guys realize that when there's foreclosures, rents go up.
Yeah.
Right? So in a way, the feds have indirectly created a widening of the gap of the middle class and the poor, the lower middle class and the rich. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And here's why, right? Because middle class and poor people, right? Lower middle class and poor and the poor of our country, they don't have the type of credit necessary to get a loan right now. And if they do, their incomes can't keep up to bid with these crazy bids that are happening right now.
Right.
Right? So what is happening, right? Those of us that own real estate are feeling really good right now. And I caution people with that because I know we're feeling really good, just like in 2007. We were feeling great. Prices were going up. Are feeling really good right now because we're equity, our net worth's going up, and all of this good stuff. But if we're not careful and we don't know how to use money correctly, we don't know how to borrow money cheaply to create money, you can find yourself in deep crap.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? You can find yourself in deep crap. What are your thoughts on that, guys? What are your thoughts on that when you look at that scenario? And I know it's a complicated scenario. I know there's a lot of encompass in there. We talked about evictions. We talked about interest rates. What are your thoughts on all of that? And we talked a little bit about the government and if who gets in, what happens?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack there. I'll touch on the government side of things in regards to the affordable housing and
crisis.
Housing crisis and the tent city that's being put up in Philadelphia right now.
Did you guys hear about that, by the way?
I have not.
I saw.
I did.
You've heard about it?
Yeah, I did. And actually, they had some areas that they actually moved. So maybe now they're over here where. I forget the name of the road. I know exactly where.
It's beautiful down there.
It's very,
the
very
same
nice.
thing is happening up in Manhattan, in Upper Manhattan.
Well,
no?
and that unfortunately is a norm in San Diego.
Well, California, San Diego, and LA.
Of course, if I was going to be homeless, I'd rather live in that
That side,
temperature than this temperature here, right?
I just think, to me, it just,
That's sad.
and I'm gonna just speak my truth here. To me, it's kind of annoying that the government would allow that, right? And I get it, people are down and out, but to me, I mean, come on, downtown, you're gonna let's set up homeless shelters for them. We can't allow that to occur in our cities just like that. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
And I come from poverty. You both know that. My listeners know that. I come from poverty, so I know what it's like to be homeless. However, to enable that kind of, let's set them up in a different place,
there are enough vacant properties that are government-owned, bank-owned, that could be converted. I agree with you entirely.
I mean, we're going to do that. We're going to allow that. Sorry, Vic. Go ahead.
No worries. I was just going to say, as Mark said, he touched on that in California. It's been happening for a long time. And unless we get this happening in all states, this is the only way I see them stepping in. They've allowed it to happen in California for so many years. Mm-hmm. They haven't stepped in over there. And even the local government there hasn't done anything for them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel that for them to step in on the housing crisis, it has to happen in all the states. I don't see anything happening anytime soon.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think the opportunity is, right? Because here's what I project. I predict that the government in the next stimulus, and they've been talking about the stimulus now for however many months now, right? Mm-hmm. And there's so much division within those two parties. They can't come to agreement and help. These people are the people that need help.
Right.
These people need help, right? Americans need help. There's a lot of Americans. I have a tenant right now that, I was telling this to my wife. She pays $800 a month. She's got a 3-bedroom. And she's a single lady with 2 children. And she works at, I don't remember, a gas station. My property manager told me, she can't pay the full rent. She's going to give us half this month. I said, okay, fine. hurt a finger or something at work. She's not getting unemployment anymore. Dude, these people need help. Like, these are some people that need help, right? And I said to her, okay, so, you know, she'll pay us half of the rent, and then she'll pay us half of the rent, whatever, in a week or so. And how do we help these people, right? So what happens to a guy like to guys like us that we're trying to help these people, right? But they can't pay their rent, right? That becomes a problem because we have mortgages, we have taxes, we have insurance, we have water, we have this, we have all these expenses that come along with this game. And the interesting part is she's like, Martin, you know, she's a responsible girl. She's paid her rent all the time. She's gone through some difficult times. And I want to help, right? I want to make sure I'm clear. I want to help. Right? I'm not looking to evict her. I want to help her. She goes, you know, she doesn't even have much furniture in her house. That just broke my heart, man. I was like, man, what can we do to help this girl? She's a single woman. She doesn't even have any sofa sets in her house. Right, she's telling me. And, you know, there's people like that out there, guys. There's people like that out there. And the government is, from what I'm, you know, because I've been following the stuff that they're going to be doing with the stimulus, the government is talking about having, I don't know, a couple $1 billion to take care of some of those rent issues within the stimulus package. Right. So now let's talk about, where do you guys see the opportunity? Right? Where is the opportunity for us as investors if that were to happen?
See, this is an interesting subject too, because, you know, if we're responsible owners, then we've bought the property at the right price. There's enough delta. There's enough profit in there. The mortgage is low. The general expenses are low, and so if a tenant comes to us with a problem, we can adjust and we can, you know, make it work. Even if we're just, you know, like for the time being, breaking even, you know, and so forth, and then hopefully that comes back around. But if you bought in correctly, if you're you know, you don't have money set aside for vacancy maintenance repairs, and you're taking all that as profit, but that profit's gotten eaten up because you bought it at the wrong price. This is where the opportunities for smarter investors come in, because these properties are going to come up as available properties. And then it's either you default on your mortgage or you take this amount, you know, and we work it through that way. Then the whole thing gets, for lack of a better term, refinanced. The entire economy of that property gets reset, and then it moves forward from there. You know, that's one way of looking at that opportunity.
There's going to be opportunities. I believe there's going to be some opportunities in next year, Vic, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
With a lot of investors, because the government's done some things to help homeowners with forbearances, but no one, they ain't do nothing to protect the investor, right? In terms of forbearances or anything like that, and that's going to create some hardship on that mom and pop. And guys, those of you listening, Mark just said something extremely important. He says vacancy maintenance and repairs. You got to have money set aside for that. Yeah. You got to have money every month set aside. If you can't eat everything that you kill, if you're in this business, you know, if you're in the rental game, you got to put money aside for those things, because it's not if, it's when you're gonna have a vacancy. It's when you're gonna evict someone. It's when the roof needs to be a toilet. Right now, hey guys, I showed you a picture, video of something that from one of my properties. There's a pipe that broke or something in the ceiling, and my guy's there.
We got a leak, and
we got a leak, and we gotta fix it, right? So if I had been eating everything I kill, I would have an issue right now.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. I'd have an issue right now. Right. So the importance of that, and the thing is this, that I was that guy. So yeah, I'm talking from experience. I'm not throwing stones at anyone. I was that guy. Yeah. Right. That everything I used to make, I used to eat in my first investment, got me in trouble. So if there's going to be a lot of guys out, there's going to be a lot of people out there like that are going to find themselves in a pinch.
Going to learn the hard way.
Yeah, they're going to find themselves in a pinch. Again, always why I'm saying educate yourself in this game. Learn how to run your numbers, have clarity, because that's what's going to set you apart as an investor from the rest.
Right. Yeah. You look, there's probably If you were to take the deals that are out there and we look the other way about those because the numbers don't work, if you take that vacancy maintenance repair, or you say, oh, I'll just be the property manager for you, you take that PM number out of there, that's 25%. That's a lot of money. You take that out of there, then the deal works.
Yeah.
But does it? For how long, right? You
Mhm.
know, and it's a big thing. I was looking at a property, 10-door, and the guy goes, this one's easy. You can be the property manager yourself. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be the property manager myself.
Mhm.
No, you know, that's why your number works for you, but it doesn't work for me. So next.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Know your numbers. What are your thoughts, Vic?
I would just add on that, Mark pretty much hit the nail on the head. I would just add, for me, as I have a couple tenants myself, for example, I have work that comes in and I give that work, construction work, to one of my tenants. He has a construction company. I help him out in that regard, bring in a couple extra dollars. In turn, I know whether he's gonna say he'll give me his profit just for the monthly rent, right? We can negotiate that way, but I help him out to bring some dollars for his family. Maybe your property manager can look at some help wanted listings and give that to your tenant. Like, hey, apply for these, you know.
That's part of the eviction moratorium, by the way, too.
Right.
So you know that a tenant cannot, in order they have to sign a certified statement that they have tried going for the local government assistance. They have to have tried all of that stuff. It's not like, well, it's COVID and there's this thing, you can't evict me. I'm actually in the middle of evicting a tenant now, and it's not for non-payment. And I'm going to repeat that again. I'm in the middle of evicting a tenant right now, and it's not for non-payment. Right, guys? It's not about the money all the time.
That's right.
Right? This particular tenant, where we've decided, we've tried, talked to her, done a bunch of different things. But this particular tenant, the issue that we're having is she's in contract. She's breaking the contract. She's noisy. She has all kind of people. We know that there's people living in the place that are not on the contract. We can't have that, right? And I have a certain culture, because I own a bunch of properties in this block, and I have a certain culture with my tenants. My other tenants don't, they feel threatened by her because she's got all these kind of weird people going there. So she just doesn't fit. She's breaking the contract rules. She's got, it's not about the money. I'd rather have a vacancy, right? I'd rather have a vacant apartment for a month or two than to be in bad company.
For sure.
Right? Than to have a bad tenant.
You risk all of it.
Because then it exposes and it hurts the culture that I've created of my community, right?
Especially if you got kids.
I like to say it'll be an uncontrolled fire.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So it's not about the money, right? It's not just about the money. Money, that's just why we do it. Don't get me wrong. Let me make sure. It's not just about that. It's important that we get the right people in place.
Yes.
Right.
That's how you protect the asset.
And we made a mistake. I accept that. We made a mistake. We made a mistake. So, of which is one of the reasons I'm going to go back to the question I asked earlier. We have all these homelessness. The government is going to come in and they're gonna give some subsidies for this stuff, because this is gonna be a big problem.
Yeah.
Right. If this whole eviction thing happens, it's gonna be a big problem. The Fed said on September 16th that the government needs to step in. Jerome Powell was calling out the Congress. You need to do something, because this eviction crisis and the looming foreclosure crisis is going to be an issue if you don't do something about this. Right? So he's basically encouraging them to go out and get and create a stimulus bill.
Right.
So this eviction crisis, gentlemen, what do you guys see? Because I see a lot of opportunities on two sides. Right? Right now, in Monroe County, for instance, in Pennsylvania, there's only 20 rentals. This is becoming a renter's nation. There's only 20 rentals on all of the MLS.
Available. Yeah. Wow.
Right? Now we have, the government's going to start giving some subsidies. They're going to give some subsidies. I'm almost certain of that. To protect people, to keep people in their rented homes. Where's the opportunities for us investors? Go, guys.
Yeah, multi-units for me.
Yeah.
I was already looking at a 20-unit right here on Main Street last year, but that didn't come into fruition because I wasn't at the level I am now. I'll be working on acquiring more buildings so I can provide housing. That's the opportunity I see.
And that's a great service, man. That's a great service. What do you see, Mark?
Same thing. I mean, and I've been in the multi, door space. That's what we've been. That's what our model is, and the advantage of that. You are probably going to have some people that are going to have to downscale. Maybe they had a single family home and were paying over $1,000 or something like that. A 3-bedroom, 1.5, 2-bath, whatever. Now you're able to get into that for a couple $100 less. And that's going to be something there. So but yeah.
And we are having a big building. I don't know if you saw. They got approved for a 50 unit.
Right here.
Yeah.
Which is
That's crazy.
That's
That
crazy.
is nuts.
That's interesting.
Building is actually a very, very big thing right now. You're hearing more and more about it, that it's a profitable thing to be doing right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and so building is always profitable, right? Until there's a surplus of inventory in the market, and then kaboom.
Yeah. Well, see, I think
There goes that, right?
Yeah,
So it's about building intelligently.
Yep.
And it's just weird times, guys. It's just really weird times, right? Because we have forbearance issues, which the data is including those forbearances. There was new data that came out this October, a couple of weeks ago, stated that 16 or 20%, it was between 16 and 20%, don't quote me, but somewhere in that range, of the people that applied for forbearance, that had gotten forbearance, got off of it. Mm-hmm. So the number of forbearance is trending down. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of this data is pre-foreclosures. Or that people are late, is it including forbearance, right? Some of that data is including forbearance. Some of it is not, right? We gained some jobs back, so that's a good thing for our economy.
Yeah,
we gained some jobs back. So ultimately, who's going to wind up being hurt? Because there's going to be a correction. There's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be a correction. Ultimately, where is this thing going to land, right? When it's all said and done.
That's a huge.
That's a big question, right? Yeah. Where is this thing gonna land? We have an eviction issue. We have this push of real estate prices just getting pushed up higher, and higher. And it doesn't matter. I was having this discussion with someone the other day. It doesn't matter if we're getting better qualified buyers. It doesn't matter, and here's why. It doesn't matter if we continue to push these prices up the way that they've been getting pushed up, right? At least in my world, that's what I'm seeing here in the data, right? Real estate market is super hot. You get people getting into bidding wars. There's 3-4 offers after a day it's insane, right?
Highest and best after 2 days.
Highest and best after.
Ridiculous.
The realtors are just putting highest and best now. That's what they're doing. They're just highest and best. That's how they're listing it, right?
I saw a property. It was a heavy distressed property. It was pre-foreclosure. It was $29,000. They asked for highest and best, and last I saw, before it was even sold, it was like $65,000. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's just stupid. I'm sorry.
So check this out, gentlemen. These prices get pushed up, right? Let's just say the average person buying a house is making $80,000 a year, right? $80,000 a year, average household. Let's just say that. But these houses keep getting pushed up.
Yeah.
Pushed up. It doesn't matter if the interest rate is 0.
Right.
It doesn't matter. There's gonna come a tipping point where those people buying, they're gonna be their debt to income ratio is not gonna work.
That's right.
At the higher prices.
That's right.
So A, you gotta either come out of pocket and pay the difference, cash, or B, you're just not gonna buy it because you're not gonna qualify. Right. So what does that do? It has to force the market to correct itself. Right. Because you're gonna eventually. This is why I say it's a bubble, because eventually it's gonna price out most Americans. Yeah. Right? At the rate that we're going, guys, it's not if, it is a bubble.
Yeah. The market says it all. The market dictates everything.
It is a bubble. And here's the thing about real estate. Real estate, it's a slow grind.
Yeah.
Right? Something happens now, and then it takes about 12, 18 months to get the effect. Right? It's a slow grind. Right. So, there's still people in forbearance. There's people in forbearance that their mortgage balance is going to get added to the back. There's people in forbearance that some of those banks are going to say, nope, sorry, it's due. What's going to happen? There's going to be opportunities there.
Yeah. Sure.
And when that stuff starts flooding the market, man, that's gonna correct the market.
Yeah. Which goes back to being ready.
Being ready. So what are you guys doing to being ready?
Well, we're marketing right now to those homeowners that are behind, that are looking to sell, looking to see how we can come in and help them. You know, where we can come in and help them, we pay the mortgage, keep everything up to date, make sure that, you know, their credit doesn't take a hit. We can come in, rehab the property, and sell it, right? So those are people looking for that kind of help, and we're doing that. We're marketing to those people, right? So we're preparing ourselves for when that happens, not just then, but we're doing it already now. Is, you know, putting the calls out, seeing who's looking for the help, how we can help these people, and that's what we're going to be doing from now all the way until next year.
But the other part of it too, we're getting ourselves ready, as far as our own credit, as far as our own buying power, private investors and so forth. You know, if people are looking for a good, stable way to invest their money, and, you know, going with real estate, you know, contacting us is a great way to make sure that because your money is secure, because you actually have a lien then on the property that we're investing in. You're the bank, and you're making, you know, the money that the bank isn't paying you right now. So there's that. You know, as another part of what needs to be done and what we are doing. So
So okay, guys. So great. So how can the listeners get a hold of you guys if they have someone has a deal and maybe they have a distressed property they're trying to sell, maybe they have a property in Poconos, because that's where you guys are. That's what we're buying, right? Someone has a property in the Poconos and aunt, uncle, whatever is looking to get rid of that property, or they're just playing Mr. Landlord and they're tired of it. How can they get a hold of you guys to maybe you can make them an offer?
So for me, it's mark@doorwayhomes.net. mark@doorwayhomes.net. That's a good. Just email me. And
what are you looking for, Mark? How are you helping people? What's the type of property you're looking for?
So I would say, you know, basically what Vic had said about, you know, 3-bedroom minimum, 1.5 or 2 bathroom, 1,300 square feet and above, outside, preferably outside of an HOA community. But you know, there's that. The other thing is on the buy and hold side, multi-door, right? So, you know, 5 doors and above, 4 doors okay, but preferring 5 doors and above is definitely
what your group is looking for.
Definitely what the group is looking for. Yep.
What about you, Vic?
Yeah, so for me, call my cell phone, guys, 862-754-8103. My email is vdlhomesinc@gmail.com. You can reach out to me again, single family homes, pretty much the same thing that Mark just said. And on the multi-unit side, I will love to get into the commercial space, which is 5 units and up in one building.
Guys, you got some cash buyers here, wholesalers, cash buyers here.
Ready to go.
People that, if you're someone that's listening and you may have a property that's, you know, distressed, you got cash buyers here. You got 2 of them right here, right now, right? In the areas they're looking for. So keep these guys in mind. I'm going to put their information on the show notes.
Right.
Any words of wisdom to the listeners before we go? Vic, you go first.
Words of wisdom. On the spot here.
Mark, go.
No, seriously, you know, we really recapped. We talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
If you're an investor, buy right. Don't buy for the now. Buy based on what we have seen and where we know it's going to go, which is going to be pretty much back to where it was. You know, so you know that's so important. And again, if you want to invest, this is a great time to do it. Anytime is a great time to do it.
Every time.
But
any
you know, right now we're really gearing up activity, especially on the flip side. The flip side is kind of interesting too because there's an opportunity to make good money short term, and then we can convert that into, you know, when we do buy and holds, that's long term money.
That's what I'm talking about. Clear strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and so that's the other thing too is the strategies. The strategies aren't just about the investing, but it's what is in it for the investor and how does that work for them. So yeah, clear strategy.
Yeah.
Vic?
Very well said, Mark. I completely agree. Words of wisdom. What we say in this is, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait.
There you go.
That's what I have
That's
to say.
good. I like that one.
I can't add too much after Mark.
There you
Yeah.
go. All right, cool.
My 2 cents, guys, is my usual 2 cents. Get clear on your strategy. Get clear on why you're doing this. Get clear on what it is you want, why you want it. Okay. Get clear on your numbers. Buy right. Don't buy just because everyone else is buying. Get out of that scarcity. Get out of that sheep group mentality thing. Oh, everyone's buying. Everyone. Okay, great. Everyone's buying, but how are they buying? I'm only buying deals that make sense for me, that meet my criteria, that meet what I've decided is the number I want for me. What I've decided that success is for me. I'm not buying because everyone else is buying, right? So if you're going to flip, decide, okay, I'm going to flip. Why am I going to flip? What's the dollar amount I need to make, minimum dollar amount I need to make on a flip? So when you're putting an offer on a deal, you know this is my maximum allowable offer because this is what I need to make. This is what it's the risk I'm taking. This is what I think is worth for me. And that's going to be different for everyone, right? And if you're going to buy and hold, you need to know what your minimum per door or monthly, whatever that number is for you, to be worth it for you. And make sure you run the numbers right. Make sure you put a property manager in there. Make sure you put vacancy, maintenance, repairs. Make sure you're not saying, hey, I'm making $1,000, my taxes and insurance, and it's 900 mortgage tax insurance, and I'm gonna keep 100 this. That's not a deal. No. And then I'm gonna keep the $100, make $100 a year. That's not a deal. That is not a deal. So get yourself educated. If you want, hey, visit our, if you're local, visit our RIA meetup. We meet the 4th Tuesday, right, gentlemen?
Yes.
4th Tuesday of every month. We talk about all this stuff there. StrasburgREI.com. We have a ton of content there. StrasburgREI.com. Go check us out. Guys, thank you for listening. We really appreciate you.